inspections. And I know that's a term that we kind of lost track of when we had some of these overheated markets, but I figured I'd better bring on the industry expert. Alan Carson, he is the owner and founder of Carson Dunlop and Associates, and they've been doing home inspections since 1978. And Alan, I've had you on the show before, but I would like to welcome you back, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks, Todd. It's great to be here.
So, Alan, one of the things that kind of felt like it went by the wayside a little during these crazy bidding wars and times were some of the home inspections. And having been in the industry myself for the last 30 years, I've always encouraged everybody that they need a home inspection, no matter what you're buying. Doesn't matter if somebody wants a firm offer or not. If you don't have an inspection done, then you're really opening yourself up to could be a huge catastrophe. So can you tell us a little bit about your company, a lot about your experience, and then let's talk about the present day market?
Absolutely. So as you say, we started home inspection in 1978 when home inspection wasn't really a recognized service in Canada, and frankly it was just getting started in the US. So we have kind of been breaking new ground in home inspection all along the way. And we now have 16 home inspectors in the GTA. We have a commercial inspection company as well, so we deal with commercial real estate. We also have an education business department that trains other home inspectors across North America. And we have a report writing software system to help home inspectors write reports. So we're all about home inspection all the time. And it has been a fascinating journey as we've gone through growth over the years. We've been through crazy hot real estate markets. We've been through downturns. And the pandemic throws another wrinkle into everything. So we've lived through that. And what's going on in the market today is pretty incredible when it comes to, as you say, the bidding wars have had a significant impact on home inspection in the sense that buyers still very much want a home inspection. We hear that loud and clear, but their hands are tied. And I know this for a fact because I've got 5 kids, 3 of whom have been in the home buying market in the last 3 years. And I've seen firsthand the impact on people and what happens when they are told, if you want to have any chance of spending $1 million on this house, you can only spend 20 minutes in it and you can't get any professional advice about it. So people are not in a position to be able to make a conditional offer the way they have traditionally, in the sense that there's no conditional offer on financing or home inspection or frankly anything else. You put your cards on the table and hope for the best in a fairly restrictive and what I would consider unfair situation.
It was interesting because, for years, one of the things I would always encourage home sellers to do is actually get a pre-inspection done. And it wasn't so much to hand the report to the buyer, but more importantly for them to understand what their property existed like. So in other words, somebody can't come back on you after they do an inspection and say, oh, by the way, your furnace has 2 years left or your roof has, 2 years left, that kind of thing. I always encourage home sellers that I think they should get a pre-inspection so they have a better idea of what it's going to entail if there is a condition on their property.
Well, I couldn't agree more. And I have been saying for years, this is how real estate should be sold. There should be a home inspection provided to any prospective buyer, and it should be done, and a credible report should be prepared before the house goes up for sale and buyers can look at it. And as you say, sellers should understand the condition of their home. And quite frankly, people say, well, the seller didn't tell me. Well, the reality is sellers often don't know. How many homeowners go up on their roof or into their attic on a regular basis? They just don't know. And so to your point, the seller's inspection gives them information that can help them sell the house. Some people want to make improvements to the house to do it, but I don't even recommend that. I just suggest they put the cards on the table. The house price reflects the condition of the house. Buyers can make an informed decision in a fair and open environment. And it makes great sense. The other thing I should say is that during these bidding wars, our business has turned, and now about two-thirds of our home inspections are done for sellers, as you say, in a pre-listing environment rather than buyers, because buyers are being shut out. But good real estate agents and informed sellers understand and see the benefit of the pre-listing inspection. So couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah, and I think what it does is it also allows during negotiation, if it's been, shown that there is some kind of deficiency, you don't have that back and forth when people want to turn around and amend pricing. Like you said, there everything's been divulged. Everybody knows if there's any latent defect. If everybody knows that, now we know how to determine the value of the property, as opposed to coming back. And I mean, I can remember scenarios where people would say, oh, well, it needs a new furnace in 2 years, so I want you to pay for the full furnace. Yeah, but I'm not the one that's going to benefit from the furnace if I'm selling my property, so I'll agree to pay X. And they say, well, yeah, but it's going to cost Y. So, I think what it gets lost in translation is the evaluation of what some of these repairs are. So, I think it's very important to have the correct home inspection, especially by a professional like, company like yourselves. So moving forward, we're going to be seeing, the market, I think it's going to stay pretty strong over the next few years. Do you see the industry, embracing home inspections more, or do you think it's going to be very much of what we've been seeing?
Well, I think there is more awareness of around the real estate transaction. I think there are broad concerns about the fairness of it. And it was interesting to see in the Liberal platform their home buyers' bill of rights that included the right to get a home inspection. So I think there is a focus and attention on it. Whether it changes things in the short term, I'm not sure. I can tell you, home inspectors across Canada have had a tough time over the last couple of years through these crazy hot markets. And I think home buyers have too. And we have a lot of stories of clients coming to us and saying, gosh, I wanted to get a home inspection. I didn't. Now I've discovered these things. What can you do to help us? And we have clients who say, I had to go ahead and buy the house. I couldn't put in a conditional offer. But now that I've moved in, can you come and do an inspection? It's not going to help me with the purchase of the house, but this is the biggest financial investment that I'm ever going to make. And I'm raising my family here. I need to know what I'm getting into. And so that kind of post-purchase inspection may continue to grow and be on the rise. And then on the front end, we are also getting some clients saying, gosh, the house came out for sale on Monday. I saw it on Tuesday. We think it might be right for us. Can we get an inspection done, knowing that we're going to have to put an offer in on Friday that won't be conditional, but at least we'll know whether we should be putting in a serious offer or not, because we'll know what we're getting into. And then, of course, the downside is they might not get the house and they've wasted the inspection fee. So that we're seeing a couple of trends, sort of pre-offer inspection and post-purchase inspection, both of which compare in comparison to your concept of the pre-listing inspection, by the way, which I'd really love to see become the dominant model for how real estate gets sold.
Yeah. Well, listen, Alan, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. And if our listeners want to reach out to you, what is the best way for them to reach you?
Well, we have a very complicated website. It's called carsondunlop.com, and that's probably the easiest way for people to reach us.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a real pleasure.
Todd, thank you. Good to talk to you again.
That was Alan Carson, owner of Carson and Dunlop and Associates. Great home inspections. And by the way, always going to encourage people to have one of those. You do your best because you want to make sure you know what you're buying. I do want to thank my other guests as well, Dave Butler.